Not many know that the first car to break the 200 miles per hour wasn't a Ferrari, but the Pontiac Tojan. Released 3 years before the Ferrari F40, this American car achieved it at a price far more affordable than Ferraris at the time, surpassing everyone's expectations. This car isn't just a forgotten legend, but a great example of how Pontiac tried to turn its fortunes around in an ever-changing automotive world. The early 1980s were tough times for Pontiac. After the huge success of muscle cars like the Trans Am and GTO, they experienced a decline. The automotive landscape had shifted, and high-performance cars were slowly disappearing from the streets. Pontiac, once a star in GM's lineup, suddenly seemed outdated. They needed a major innovation, something that could grab the world's attention, a car that would remind people of their past glory. This is where the story of the Pontiac Tojan begins. Pontiac decided not to play it safe. They teamed up with a small company called Automotive, known for building luxurious and exotic-looking cars. But this time, they were faced with a new challenge: to create a supercar. The result was the Pontiac Tojan. Its design was unlike anything you'd ever seen, with wide bodywork inspired by race cars and Ferraris, and a touch of Italian flair in the front. But what truly stood out wasn't just the design, it was what was under the hood. Instead of using a standard engine, Knudsen fitted a twin-turbocharged small-block Chevy engine taken from a boat. With 800 horsepower, this Tojan could hit a top speed of 206 miles per hour, far outpacing the Ferrari F40, which wouldn't arrive until a few years later. Imagine that, a car that outperformed Ferrari in speed and at a price 5 times lower. But the Tojan's success didn't last long. Like many ambitious projects, there were major obstacles on the road to mass production. Pontiac realized that the original Tojan with 800 horsepower was too extreme, too expensive, and perhaps too dangerous for the general market. So they tamed the car. The powerful twin-turbo engine was replaced with a standard Firebird V8 engine, producing up to 245 horsepower. For some, this might have been disappointing, but there was still the option to add a supercharger, which could boost power to nearly 400 horsepower. While the engine was toned down, the Tojan still retained its radical exterior design. There was even an option to add a Countach-style rear wing if you wanted to stand out even more. On the inside, the Tojan may not have been as luxurious as a Ferrari, but it still offered features like Recaro seats and futuristic digital gauges for its time. And though it didn't become a full-fledged supercar, the Tojan remained one of the most unique production cars Pontiac ever made. Only about 150 Pontiac Tojans were ever produced between 1985 and 1991. This makes it a rare car, even among classic car collectors, and surprisingly, it's not as expensive as you might think. Today, for around $25,000 to $30,000, you could own one of these historic cars. A failed supercar, but still a head-turner. This car isn't just about speed and design, but about Pontiac's effort to reclaim its place in the spotlight of the automotive world. So the question is, if you had the chance, would you choose the Pontiac Tojan or another car like the classic Trans Am? What would you pick? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about legendary cars that were almost forgotten. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.